Come here. Welcome to the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, live every Sunday on Leicester Fan TV. Come on, you Foxes. Good morning, Foxes. How the devil are you? How's your weekend been so far? How are you feeling after that point we got yesterday? Is the Great Escape on still? Welcome to the original Leicester City Sunday morning football show. You know what day it is. It's Sunday. It's 9:30 a.m. It's time for the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, run by us fans in here, for you fans out there. And you know what? Your opinion really, really matters. So get them comments in. Let's get going. It's kick-off time. Come on, you Foxes.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Foxes Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Well, what can you say about that? It's unbelievable, isn't it? It really is. We actually scored 2 goals, not 1, but 2. And coincidentally, the last time we played Brighton was the last time we scored at home, and it was 2-2. So, a different kind of thing, but we got a point. An away point in the Premier League is pretty damn good normally, but this week I think it's a bit late at the minute. I think it's a bit late. I don't think the Great Escape on. I was only joking. Morning, Maz. Morning, Jamie. 2 goals at once. Cannot believe it. No. Morning, Jamie. A1 Hardy. Morning, Jamie. No Great Escape. RVN has left it. Yes, I was only joking when I said that. We played. Alex said we played like that week in, week out. We'd have been fine. Yes, we would have. Morning, Jamie. We would have won that if it wasn't for VAR. Ian, them 2 penalties were very soft, but I do believe they were penalties, I think. Connor Cody's was definitely a penalty. 100% sure that was a penalty. He put his arm out. Thomas was very soft. If that had been any other place in the park, I don't think it would have been a penalty. On the view of the first penalty, it would have been Reedy. Morning, Reedy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You would have seen the first penalty. The second penalty is the other end from you, wasn't it? But what did you think in the crowd when you saw what was going on? Did you know it was going to be a penalty? Did you think it was going to be a penalty? Or what? When it originally happened, not when he went to VAR?
When it first happened, from the view I had, I didn't think Curry could do much more. I thought his arms down the side. People get told, put your arm down the side so you don't have any chance of a penalty. But then looking back at it on highlights and matches there, you could see he's clearly put his arm a bit further out to try and block the ball. Which again, he knew himself after looking at it. It was always going to be a penalty. Unfortunately, but like I say, when I first saw it, it's just like, what else can he do? His arm's on his side. It's blasted at his arm, but again, he did move his arm slowly to try and block it. Now, the penalty that Leicester shook, well, I'm not sure. I don't think it was much of a blatant penalty, to be honest. But what the Casey McAteer one, I don't know whether you saw that because you were the other end of the ground, weren't you? But I honestly don't think that was a clear-cut penalty, to be fair. It'd have been very... I think it might have got overturned if the referee had given that. Looking back at it, again, I couldn't really see it from being live there, but looking at the highlights, I think it was a penalty. I think he put his hand on his neck and his face. Anywhere on the pitch or even in our area, it would have been given as a penalty. He pushed him down on the floor with a bit of force into his face. So for me, it's a penalty. But again, we didn't get given it. It didn't get looked. I think it did get looked at actually, but we didn't give anything.
Everything like that does get looked at, but never.
I would say it was a penalty in my opinion, but again, it was all we'll say is it was a very controversial day yesterday. Football again. Yes, the penalties that were given, in my opinion, were penalties, but it was very controversial, and the ref was an absolute shocker of a day yesterday as well.
Yeah.
The amount of times he gave yellow cards was ridiculous.
I'm just going to bring Jono in. Geordie Jono's joined us. Hello, Geordie Jono. Been a while. Is that because we've actually got a point? You decided to come and see us on a Sunday morning?
I was on loads when we were losing. It's just this is the first Sunday they've got free. Planning for a baby is quite time consuming.
When is she due, John? I know it's soon, isn't it?
Any day now. Any day.
Is it any day now? Oh,
Yeah.
The patter of tiny feet will be very soon, John. Then we won't see you ever again.
Hopefully, when she's young, she has experienced the bad part. When she's older, she experienced the good part of Leicester.
Jono, when enough baby talk, pal. When the team sheet came out yesterday, or even before the team, what were you thinking yesterday before the game? Really, the same with you when you were going down the bus. But Jono, what were you thinking up north?
Well, to be honest, I've not been watching the games for the last 3 or 4 weeks because I just stopped caring. I saw the team sheet. I kept an eye on the scores, but I just stopped watching. It's just got boring. I was doing the show. I'm doing the show with Simon week in, week out, and it's just saying the same things over and over again. And it's just we got repetitive. So I thought, if they don't care, I don't care. But I did go back and watch the highlights and watch the team, and I liked how Casey McAteer came in. I think that was a good change. I thought Mavadini coming back in again. He stepped up. He was by far, looking at the stats and the highlights, he was by far the best player. And it's just nice to actually look at the stats and go, you know what, we wasn't absolutely dominated. It was actually nice to see we're putting up a bit of a fight. So I think that was a nice change. But this can't be just a one game sort of semi-decent performance. It's got to be now rest of the season. We're going down, but show a bit more fight, please. The rest of the season, just if you stop putting more fight in, I'll care more.
Yeah, really. What was it like on the bus going down, pal? What did you? What was the atmosphere in the bus like?
Do you know? We all know the position we're in, and again, all the fans that go are going for a reason. It's just to watch Leicester City and try and support them. And with the team sheet, I finally was happy to see players in the right position. No players were playing in the wrong roles. Like you said, there was no round pegs and square holes, whatever you call it. But for me, playing Mavadini in his right role, letting him have a bit more freedom on the wing. Casey McAteer, as much as I don't think he's Premier League quality, when you've not got Fatawu, he's the one that comes in and be that right winger. Because we need an actual right winger in. AU is not that. Bobby Reid isn't that. You've got to have a team that's fit for a certain system. And I even saw JJ was probably the only one that was probably out of position because he played in that kind of inverted fullback role at times. Where when we have got Ricardo Pereira, I don't see why we've done that. But again, team news, I was very happy with it. Again, I think you've got to take out the likes of FaZe now he's injured, which obviously we couldn't play, but. Again, is it a bad egg? Do you just change it for a Coley? And then for me, he was a very good player in the team. I don't know, but we did well, and I think the team was very well set up in my opinion.
Yeah, I was. It's the first time in a long time, lads, that I was actually a little bit worried at the end of the last 10, 15 minutes because I wasn't sure which way the game was going to go. If anything, I was a little bit stressed. You don't normally get stressed this season watching Leicester play, but the last 10, 15 minutes, I was thinking, I said to the missus when at injury time, if we get one more decent chance, we're going to win this. And we nearly did. We had that Mavadini.
Hit the post.
No, that was a bit
later.
later.
The post.
Yeah, we had that. But this was in the injury time. I was saying, if we had one more chance, I think we'll go on and win it. And it was a bit of an enjoyment watching it. And that's what I want to be like, enjoying the game. That was probably the most enjoyable, apart from the West Ham and the Brighton game at home when I was there. This was probably the most enjoyable game I've had all season watching it, just because them last 10, 15 minutes. And then there was limbs in the crowd when we made it 2-2 for Okoli. Okoli wasn't sure what he'd done, and it was like, oh my God, I've scored, or oh my God, I've equalised. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking. But really, when that goal went in, that must have been a feeling and a half to get the second goal, Reedy.
I feel like before we even tried to equalise goals, it felt a bit hard done by because of the issues that was the penalties and whatnot, which again were penalties after looking at them. But to be 2-1 down after playing so well in the second half and then getting that goal back, it just a bit of a relief. And like you said, the last 15 minutes, I feel like there was only one team that's going to win it because we just kept going on and on and on with them. And that's why a lot of people were saying that the second half was a very good performance. So for me, it was brilliant. Again, we scored some goals. We had a bit of fun in the away end, saying we scored a goal and we scored 2 goals and all that. So it's a bit of fun. But in the end, I was a bit hard done by to say that we probably could have gone and won it, but it obviously wasn't enough. I don't think we deserved to win it in the end, but the chances we had, it could have happened.
Yeah, Jono, I don't know whether you agree with this, but sometimes when the luck ain't going with you, that's the when you go down. It felt like the 2 penalties could have gone either way, but because they were given, there was no like clear and obvious error. But that Mavididi chance, about 5 minutes to go, where it got deflected, if that had been us, that would have been in the back of the net, wouldn't it? Because the luck goes against us, and that got deflected away. And we actually got a bit of luck, got another goal. The offside was cleared because they used that. You won't see it really, but they used the automated technology.
Oh yeah, I saw that for the Kennedy one.
His hand was in an offside position. You could see it was clearly through the line. But where they marked it here, they mark it on his shoulder, of course, because you can't score with your hand, so it doesn't matter. Your hand can be in an offside position. But so we had a little bit of, so the luck was sort of changing. But if the luck had been going with us, that Mavididi shot, John, I think would have gone in. And it's just, I don't know. It's sometimes if the luck's not with you, that's the problem, isn't it, Jono?
I mean, we haven't scored a goal. We haven't scored many goals at all, but we haven't scored a goal in 850 minutes of football. There's a voodoo on us. Like the pressure as to score a goal is massive. Any player that got a chance was thinking, if I miss this, it's going to continue. I think breaking that now is massive. I think that pressure of actually scoring a goal home or away is gone.
It just shows you as well that when we score one, like the confidence in our team shot up. Like you could see the difference from other games to going 1-0 down to then getting a goal in this game, and we were always going to be in the game. I mean, it looked like we were as well. So for me, that all I've been saying the last couple of weeks is if we just get that goal, it will just spur us on to try and get a result. And look, thank God we did. But again, it's just not enough.
As much as it was nice to see Jake Evans come on, Nick, like you say, for 60 seconds, I'm not sure it was. I mean, I know it was because of McAtee's injury and somebody had to come on, but bit of a shame we couldn't see a bit more of him, John, wasn't it? Because he's done quite well in the under 18s, under 21s.
It's the same as Monga. You know, those two players. I think they're preparing them for the championship. I want to see us start planning for the championship. I want us to start playing these young players. Will Alves, I want him to start playing in the defence as soon as possible. When he's
in the defence.
Well, Alves, no. Who am I thinking of? Ben Nelson, that's it. Ben Nelson. Obviously, Will Alves up in the front three. I want to see these sort of players coming back and preparing for the championship because I do think there'll be a transfer embargo next season, and we need to prepare for it.
And they always say you can't win anything with youngsters. Well, that's what Alan Hansen said, and that went totally tits up with him, didn't it? When Man U won the trophies, all them trophies with the youngsters, it can be done. Going to talk about your mate Patson Daka, Reedy. He had a chance when he first came on, and then he had a couple of half chances. The one where I think El Canouse, was it El Canouse? Yeah, he had the shot, hit the crossbar, came back out when he skied it. Lewis Dunk was like right on his right behind him and clear, but it just shows another player with a lacking of confidence.
Do you know what? I will admit that Daka was absolutely woeful against Newcastle, but Daka was better than Vardy yesterday. He actually, his running, his pressure on the ball, and yes, he's not confident in shooting, but again, and that's what you probably need in a striker. But when it comes to the pressure of a team, that's a big reason why we were so close to winning it yesterday, in my opinion. Every time the goalkeeper had the ball from a goal kick, he was running at him. Every time he passed the ball, he was running at him. That's what you need when you need someone who to come on to just put the pressure up a bit more, and that's what we did. So for me yesterday, I don't think Daka really put a fault wrong in my opinion. And then I know people are going to be saying Daka's crap, Daka's this. I agreed with Phil. Yes, last week he was awful, but
He was playing
his
the wrong position last week.
I don't know.
You
His
can't
more,
play striker as a
more of a centre attacking mid role. Yeah.
creative winger. He doesn't play that role. But I admit, I don't agree with this one completely. He's not been woeful since he's been here. He's just confidence who's just shot it. And I think that's where even your mate Alan says Daka played well yesterday. That's not
He
very often
did.
Alan agrees with you, is it?
He did play well, and again, people won't say he did because they've got like this agenda over him and whatnot. And I will agree, he's not been great at all. But what he needed to come on and do yesterday, he did. He got the ball off players. He ran to the players, pressed them down, and the pace at the end of the game was what you needed. And yes, his shooting wasn't top tier, but the one shot he did get off, he made the keeper have a good save. So fair enough to him. And again, if he can put the passion in the team, even if he's not scoring, for me, it's all you ask for.
I'm going to be really controversial here. I'd be as much as he's been our best striker ever,
Yep,
probably
I
the
agree.
best player ever.
I
Jamie
agree before you
Vardy,
even say it. I agree.
I think it's time for him to go.
Mhm.
So another striker can step up, and without having him, but without having Jamie Vardy up there, and he's got to play. If Vardy's there, all the other players are coming, and they've got to try, and they're not as good. I honestly think, and that might be controversial, but as much as Jamie Vardy's done for us, I think he's holding strikers back. Is that right? Is that a good
Yep.
one to use? I'm not sure whether that's being controversial or not.
When he's in the team,
Oh.
there's no point having anyone in there because you know it's always going to be him. That's the problem. When you bring a new striker in, like a cannon, he's not going to get in because Vardy's in the club. He's not. And for me, if we did go down, I probably would keep him. I'm saying when we go down because it's more than likely, but I would probably keep him if we did go down because I think we needed him more than ever. But if we were to stay in the Premier League, I would have probably kept it. Probably let him go and find a new City striker.
See, it might be that if Vardy does go, Daka can step up because there's no pressure from the fans to live up to his level. You might find I know you're smirking behind there, but
I'm not. I just know that if that happened, everyone would be slating every person at the club, saying, "Why are we starting Daka?"
But who knows when? Because Vardy is a living legend with the club. Yes, he is up the upper echelons of one of them players. He is the leader of the group, and everyone's got to try and play up to his level. And the strikers that have come here, you look at some of the strikers we have. Islam Salami, not Salami. You know what I mean? I can't say.
Simani.
He every time he was great with the ball in the air, and he used to score 9 times out of 10. He used to score, but we carried on playing it along the ground, and it wasn't his game. We've had strikers that have come in and we can't live up to his standards, unfortunately. So I think if Vardy does go, even like I keep saying, he's been a living legend, then I think the strikers should be able to. Couldn't do it. Yeah, but like I just said, Ben, Vardy was here, and the pressure on a striker to live up to Jamie Vardy's level is different. I think it'd be totally different if Vardy goes. As much as I love Jamie Vardy, I think his time has come now. 13 years, I think it's been here.
If you like we've all said this season, the club needs a shake-up, doesn't it? Like we need new personnel, we need new members of the board, we need new players. Players like Vardy, I think you've been linked with Wrexham all over social media. You've been linked with Wrexham or going to a team in America. I think he should go. I think he needs he needs a new challenge, a new chapter, and we need a new identity for the club. I think obviously we all love Jamie Vardy. I just don't want him to stay. I just don't do a Rio Ferdinand and just end his career on a massive low. I just want him to leave the club as a legend and have a new challenge, and us have a new striker. Because look how long it took us to replace Mahrez. 6 years to replace him, and that player's injured now. But we need that time to now find a new striker. I don't want him to be the main man and us trying to find backups and hoping they match his quality. get rid of. No, not that got rid of.
You're
Let
never
Vardy
going to
go.
match. You're never going to match
No,
his
no.
quality.
What I mean is
No.
though is you can't have a personality like Vardy in the team and other players trying to match up to him. You got to let Vardy go and players become that main striker.
If a new striker comes in, he can stamp his authority on that team. But with Vardy being there, we're going to be trying to play the same way week in, week out. Got a new striker, even if it's not Daka, even if you sell Daka, even and Vardy goes, and Edouard goes back to Chelsea, goes back to Palace. You get another striker in. He can come in. He can have a pre-season and stamp his authority on that team. This is how we play. This is how I want you to play, over the top, in the air, whatever.
But this is the evolution of Leicester City. This is what you're going to have to do in the next 5 years. I mean, even if it's not this year, in the next 5 years, Vardy will eventually leave. Even if it's not because of a contract, he will just leave because he's getting too old. You can't play forever. So in the next 10 years, you will have a new striker at the club, and he will not be here. So if it's this season, if it's next season, I don't know. Like I say, if we are in the Championship next year, / when we're in the Championship next year, I would probably give him 1 more year to see if we can get straight back up. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but if there's a chance, and he showed it last year, he can do it in the Championship at the age he is. Just give him that one last year to try and come back up and then go.
But look at his wages. It's £140,000 a week. That's a lot of money that the club does not have.
Yes, Jono, considering that the loss was 19.1 million this year, and everyone thought, oh, we had 95 last year. It's only 19.1 million, I think, this year. Oh, we've made great strides in getting that down. But 101% of that was on wages.
But all I'd say is, yes, that's the likes of the wages why it is. But if you were to keep him and give him 1 more year and then we did come straight back up next year, would that be worth the money that you've paid to bring us back up? I would say yes.
Would those wages hinder us from buying three other players to keep also be in the squad?
3 other players that might not be good enough. You've got a player who can be good enough in the Championship.
Is he though?
And again,
is he?
I think he'd be still very good enough in the Championship. He showed it last year. Yes, again, he's not. I don't think he's Premier League anymore, in my opinion. But if, like I say, when or if we do go down, it will be I think it'd be the right decision to give him 1 more year just to see if we can do the same as what we did last year, and then let him go on a high. We got promoted. Now we
shouldn't
can
do that last year though. But when we got
maybe. That's probably another reason. Either they should have done it last year, or you should have done it, or you should do it next year, as in after the Championship season. Again, people will say still go. I agree with Jamie. I think he should go, but in a position where if we are in the Championship next year, I would rather rely on someone like Vardy, who's shown he can do it last year, than bring a new striker in and you might not do anything. Do you know what I mean? You've got somebody who you know can probably do it next year. So I'd give him 1 last year to try and do what we can do to get back up.
Andy, this is what I was on Radio Leicester on Friday, and this is what I said. There's only 3 people out of contract in the summer, which is Danny Ward, Daniel Everson, and Jamie Vardy. People like Vestergaard, Faze, Dakar, Cody have still got 1 or 2 more years left. They all want to play Champions League football, Premier, top level league football, and the World Cup is in 26. Or is it Euro? No, the World Cup's in 26, isn't it?
Yeah.
The year after. They all want to play regular football and they need to be playing at the top level. Who is going to buy people? Who is going to buy Vestergaard? Who is going to buy Wout Faze? And we're not going to try not to lose money. That is the problem we're going to have. It's great saying we need to get rid of Vestergaard, but who actually is going to come in for them?
But like, look at last season. Vestergaard was actually bloody good in the Championship last season, right? If he's got 1 year left in his contract, let him have that season in the Championship. Let him play well, then just let him go. Just let him go.
He's actually got 2 years left.
Has he got 2 years left?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Sell
him now then. Sell him. Sell him for
John,
$1 million.
The problem is, though, over the last few years, I can't remember exactly. I think there's 8 or 9 players that we've let the contracts run down. Tillemans, Soyuncu, Perez. There's others as well. They've just gone. They've just free transfer and gone. We've lost so much money on them. It won't.
But people are saying that we've got a dead one in the club. In my opinion, going into the next year in the Championship, name me 10 players that need to go. I don't
Danny
think
Ward.
Vestergaard. Yes, I'm saying I don't think Vestergaard needs to go. In my opinion, Faze will go, but if he stays, he did what he had to do last year. There's a lot of players in our squad that I don't think are deadwood now. You've got the likes of Danny Ward. You've got the likes of Iverson, who again I don't know why he's still here. Like there's players why I don't know why they're even at the club, but majority of our squad now, because like last year we had the likes of Pratt and all that, which again saw some time in getting games, but really didn't get much time in the game. So that's why they're gone. Now we've got a solid squad that I think will be good enough in the Championship. And I don't think you have to get rid of that many players. You've got to get rid of Danny Ward, yes. You've got to get rid of the likes of Iverson or I'm trying to think of who else because right now I can't because I think we've got rid of a lot of the deadwood last year. That
Did we?
In my opinion, we did. Yes, you're going to say Vestergaard this year, but again, like you said, he was good enough last year. For me, you've got a solid squad there now, and you got a lot of the players who were on the fringe of going into the team last year disappearing. So now, again, you use a bit of youth next year. Of course, use a bit of youth next year because that's what you need. And like Andy said, he sold Pratt and got brought Skip. Waste of money. But again, I will say this: when Skip came on yesterday, he actually looked quite good.
Yeah, that's the first time he looked reasonably well out of all the times.
Yes.
Unfortunately. But like Nick Moore says, Faze, Justin, Sumari, Eri, Dako David Reed, Dakar, Christiansen, Cody, Vestergaard all need to go.
I agree with Bobby Reed and RU. Justin, I would probably say he's good enough in the Championship, but again, he's not a Premier League player. Sumari, he won't want to be here, but I would keep him if we could, but he won't stay.
I totally agree with that, but I can't see who's going to buy them on the wages that they're on. They're going to have to take a pay cut if they're going to go anywhere because clubs in France, Germany, Turkey, Spain don't pay that much money for players in wages.
We're forgetting one person, the manager. The manager. Now, I listened to the Rest is Football podcast, and they interviewed Russell Martin, and I think he will be. The thing, we're not going to get Sean Dyche, are we? We're not going to get.
If you say you want Russell Martin, I'm all right, thank you.
I'd rather stick with Van Nistelrooy than Russell Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Van Nistelrooy.
But would you want Van Nistelrooy in for the Championship season?
No.
I'd give him 10 games. I'd give him 10 games.
Really, I won't even give him 10 games because that means he's had a transfer window, a pre-season, and then a new manager's going to come in. Exactly
it depends who comes in, though.
Exactly like Cooper had. And I don't think Cooper was doing a half-bad job, even though
it depends who comes in, though. If it's a Sean Dyche, I won't even give him the transfer window either because he'll just buy another load of AUs and Bobby Reeds and all that. You need a fresh. If you want to get a new manager in, get a fresh manager in who has a bit more, a bit of a fresh idea on what he wants. Again, getting youngsters in.
Who was England's interim manager before Tuchel stepped in?
Lee Carsley.
He looked like a good manager. I thought he could be all right. He's a new manager. He wants to prove himself.
I mean, this is a decent shot. Leroy Rossini.
Do you know what? That team Strasbourg is on fire in the French league. They're fourth in the League One at the moment. That is mental for him. And they get nowhere near the top four normally.
I can't see him leaving a team that's probably in the Champions League. Next year.
They're 3 points off Champions League.
Yeah, I'll be very surprised. But again, we've got to look forward to next week. I mean, Liverpool must be quaking in their boots now after that performance by Leicester yesterday. Ian, no, thank you, definitely not. Oh, well, sorry, that one, definitely not.
No,
Liverpool must be quaking in their boots now for next Sunday. What do we do, really? Do we stick with the same Mavadivi and McAteer? Well, it depends how bad an injury McAteer got. So I think that was his ankle. I think he caught him racing down the back. So hopefully he can Hopefully he's fit enough to play.
If McAteer wasn't fit, I'd play Mongo, and that's just because he's the only other right winger that we have available who is actually a right winger.
Play him.
I'd play Ricardo Pereira instead of Sumare, just because that role where he can play in that midfield, again, showed it when he came on. His quality on the ball and his little dinks and whatnot, for me, just is different quality, so he has to play. But the rest of the team, in my opinion, stays the same. Macaulay, quality, yesterday, in my opinion, other than a few issues. Luke Thomas, again, made one issue, but again, he's better than Christiansen.
Yeah, I don't think Luke Thomas had a bad game yesterday, even though there was certain fans on Twitter giving him a right rough ride yesterday, saying how bad he was. I don't think he was that bad yesterday. I don't think he's that bad since he's come in and played in a position that was out of position for him on the left side of a back three.
Yep.
I don't think he's done that bad, to be honest, Luke Thomas. And to be made the scapegoat again, another scapegoat, which we seem like every Leicester fan needs a scapegoat, I don't understand why he's been made that scapegoat, because I don't think he's not that bad. He's not brilliant, but he's not that bad.
No.
So I think Christiansen, as much as I like the passion and his fight that he gives us, I think he's been
The quality's not there. The quality's not there.
The quality's not there. Yes,
his first touch is so poor. Yeah. I think I missed Luke Thomas last season. I think I like. Would you like him in the Championship next season? Is he the player that needs to go, or would you keep him?
Who? Christiansen?
No, Thomas.
No, Thomas would keep him. He's a Championship player at lowest. Again, he can do it in the Championship.
We've just got to hope that, because is it still right if Wolves win today and win next week, we're down before the Liverpool game? Is that right?
I think that's,
even though we've got a point today. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked at the table this morning.
If anything, yesterday's point just delayed the inevitable. In my eyes, just delayed.
3 points would have. 3 points definitely would have made a difference. But
there's 21 points.
We've only got 6. We've only got 6 games left, 18, and we're 14 behind. So if Wolves win the next 2,
we're
which is today and next week,
they'll get Spurs though. Wolves will get Spurs.
Well, that's an easy victory for Wolves then, because Spurs are pants.
Well, you never know.
Wolves and United, right? Then we play them. So if they don't beat those two teams, then we play them.
Oh, Jono's still got some sort of hope. I had this yesterday on the bus. After the result, I said, do you know what? Is there any sort of possibility that Wolves lose nearly every single game now this season and we somehow have a surge? But I know it's not going to happen. We've said this loads of times this season, where we beat Spurs away, and then you go into Everton thinking, if you beat these, there's a chance, and then you just get slaughtered.
If Spurs lose every game,
Wolves,
we win every game, we go above Spurs.
Wolves, you mean?
No, Spurs. Spurs are on 34 points in that.
Well, yeah, but still.
Imagine if Spurs finish 17th. That'd be the funniest thing.
It would be, wouldn't it? Just escape relegation on goal difference. But yeah, I know we're clutching at straws, and I know we're down. I honestly know we're down.
Yeah, we are. But
it's down. I know it's not mathematically down, but
all you ask for is what we got yesterday.
Passion, fight, play, press the ball, just shoot. Run every ball, every loose ball, run for it. I want that.
Where was this like the last 8 games? If we'd showed some of this spirit yesterday, if Van Nistelrooy had not been so stubborn in staying with the same team week in, week out, eat, sleep, repeat, we would have probably been in a better position. Like I said, the last 8 games, if we'd have showed half of that passion against Man City, against Man U, against Newcastle, we might have got something from I'm not saying we would have, but might have got
I was going to say the last 4 or 5 games, because remember I mentioned that the 6 games in a row we had, and now we've actually finished that run nearly after Liverpool. It would have been hard even if you had the team that you had yesterday in most of them games, because again, there were Newcastle who just won the Carabao Cup. You had Man United who, yes, were poor, but we didn't have a touch on them. Again, you had Man City who we just didn't look even close to them. I get what you're saying. If we played like we did with a bit of fight, we might have had a bit more of a chance, but we had to have this, we had to sort this, what we were doing yesterday, before December.
See, this is one of the things now. I've given up on the Cuppa Van Nistelrooy debate, because Van Nistelrooy has gone above that. Cuppa only won 2 games, but he got 10 points from his 11 games. On that, the way that's going, we'd have been on 35 points now at the end of the season and probably stayed up. Van Nistelrooy, he's got 8 points from his 18 games. I think he's been in charge now. I think it's 18 games. I can't remember. 18, 19 games or whatever. 20 games he's been in charge. I don't understand why the debate's still going on and why people are having arguments about it. I really don't. Comparing them, we've had a bad team all season long. We haven't had a manager that's been able to get a tune out of them. So comparing them, but I still think Cooper's gone too early. Admittedly, it was probably the right decision. I think he should have been given more time. Van Nistelrooy, I think he wasn't the manager we needed. When he first came in, I was worried. I was excited, but I was worried. And I could see this happening. But a lot of people were just, Cooper's, that's it, get rid of Cooper. Fair enough. But
it's the board.
I don't think you can say buying shit players, slow players in an easier running. Van Nistelrooy's had more games against easier teams than Cooper has.
I wouldn't say that. But I wouldn't say that yet.
He's played every team. He's played nearly every team twice. He's only missed 11 games in the season.
I would say Ruud's had more
season games.
He has not played Southampton, Ipswich, or Wolves yet.
He's played a full. Yes,
he's played Wolves. He's played Wolves. He's played Wolves. Yes, but not.
We've got a point against Ipswich.
Yeah, we didn't deserve it. We didn't deserve it.
We've got a point against Ipswich.
We didn't deserve it against Ipswich.
And 3 points against Bournemouth.
We didn't deserve it against Ipswich. And we were lucky against Southampton. I'm on the side of Richard. I am on the side of Richard saying that Cooper got very lucky with the points he got. But
he's got a win against West Ham and a win against Spurs. But against all the easier teams, what's he got? Nothing.
I'm gonna shoot off, guys. I shall see you guys later.
Why? She shouted, Josh. She's getting some.
We've got stuff to do today.
All right then, pal. Speak to you later.
See you later.
See you later, mate. Be good. You're saying he's had easier games. Van Nistelrooy's had easier games than you think.
He's had some easier games.
But
Southampton and Ipswich are easier than the likes of Wolves and Fulham.
If Van Nistelrooy goes and stuffs them 5-6-0, I'll hold my hand up.
Oh no, but there's every chance we do lose it. What I'm saying is, yes, he's had more games, so he's going to have more easier games than what Cooper had. But Cooper only had. No, but I'm saying he didn't have the easier games in that run of what Cooper had. There was more easier games of the 11 games he had than Ruud had in his whatever games it is, because he's had a lot more harder games than he has easier games in the amount of games he's had.
Okay, then, really, I think we'll have to agree to disagree.
But we all know that both the situations are. We can't know. We want to know how well Cooper done, and we want to know how someone else would have done. So
no. All right then, pal. We'll let you go. You're going to have a cracking conversation with Phil and the lads in the office tomorrow morning.
No, I'm not in tomorrow, so.
Oh, you having a day off again, you lazy sod?
Yeah. I'm off away for a night, so.
Ooh. We won't go into that one. All right then, pal. We shall speak to you later.
See you in a bit.
See you later. Rightio. Agreed justifying crap 5 months at home without a point, a goal. Yes, how can you say that the difference in teams when we haven't scored at home for 5 months? But anyway, everyone has the right. No one's right. No one's wrong. It's simple as that. Much appreciated. We've got Liverpool next week. You've got Phil Monday night, Jono and Simon on Thursday night. The lads doing the preview, the match tactics on Friday. I think it will be this week. So join us all. Like I say, it's been much appreciated. Just before you go, a little bit of homework. Whatever you're watching us on, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, just give us that like and share. Much appreciated. There goes the final whistle. Ciao, ciao, adios, goodbye, Todd's vein. Come on, you foxes.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.